All right, we're gonna watch some videos today, and the first one we're gonna watch is from Buzzcut Psycho, and this is a thing that I really struggle with actually, and more so lately than before. I used to really hate this, and now it's weird. Star Citizen: A Journey into the Heart of Tedium, again from Buzzcut Psycho, and the thumbnail looks like this. Respect my time? Question mark.
In my opinion, one of the most overused phrases in online gaming is, does this respect my time? It's a question you will often hear asked whenever a player is trying to get an item in the game that takes a long time to get, or they're trying to overcome a challenge that is particularly difficult and it requires them to invest a lot of time and energy to overcome that challenge and get the reward. When it comes to that usage, I don't really agree with it. I like challenge, and I also like to earn things. I do like things that take a while to earn.
Yes.
So long as they're,
Same.
Meaningful. But
I mean, defining meaningful is a hard thing for the Star Citizen community. Something that means something to me, I always bring up the Vandal Mask. That was a meaningful earn, right? But like if we look back at games like WoW that have drop rates of like 1 in 1,000 or something like that, and you could only do it once a day or limited tries at things. Does that respect time? Is that earning, right? So there's the space dads out there that can't. I got kids. I got this. Here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't give a shit how many kids you have. I don't care how many hours a day you work. There's gonna be content in this game that's not for you, right? And there's going to be content in this game that's for people like me that maybe have a lot more time to play games, right? And you have to respect the fact that you're not going to be able to do that stuff. I respect the fact that you've already ruined the game by getting a leg up and purchasing ships and all these other things, right? We've already ruined it that way out of the respect for your time. But I think the game's going to have certain things like that. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is what the problem is in Star Citizen. It's more of the tedium of things, and then at the same time, there's nothing of value in Star Citizen right now. So it's such a weird. Everything about it is so weird. But I'll get to my point later. But I'm so internally conflicted about this.
in Star Citizen, I think that question is perfectly valid. Because the other day, it dawned on me that there is a lot of time being wasted in the game for no reason, and it's being wasted doing trivial things.
Yep.
For example, real quick, right? I'm at Orson. I get up, ride a tram, go to the spaceport, leave Orson, fly out to Area 18, land, go through the terminal, ride the tram, go to the Commons, buy my weapons, and then have to do it all the way back to go back to where I really want to be. That was about a 45-minute to an hour endeavor.
The thing about the trams and the elevators and the this and the that, how much time do we like when you're playing Star Citizen, honestly, how much time do you spend at a landing zone? I feel like it's like none. Like literally none. Okay? So what's the big deal? You spend it, you leave, and then you instantly set your spawn on Grimhex, on L1s, or stations above the cities. Right? So a lot of people don't spend their time there. You may go down there for a cargo run, but I don't think a lot of people spend their time there. So is it really that big of a deal? That's the first step of my internal dialogue about this, where I go back and forth.
Provided that there are no interruptions, whether it's crashes or technical issues or anything like that. That is a lot of time to go do a menial task. And Star Citizen is absolutely loaded with that crap. You want to go do commodity runs, right? You land at a planet, you gotta get out, you gotta ride the tram, you gotta go to the trade center, you gotta go to the terminal, buy it, run back to your ship.
Oh, this guy's gonna love cargo timers then.
Fly them out. Why? Why? What does this add to the game? Why are you making players do this? It doesn't add anything. It's not immersive. It's freaking annoying. It is.
Okay, you think it's freaking annoying. You don't think it's immersive. This is where my internal dialogue is, and I'm glad he got here. Is it is. Sadly, it is. It's something that grounds you in the game, in the game's world, and tells you that you're in a city and you're traveling in a city, right? You're on a subway at Hurston. It actually does for a lot of people. And it's so sad, and this is where I get so internally conflicted about this, is those things are kind of what makes Star Citizen special, right? It's what makes them special. The main point of 99% seem to miss is that these time sinks, Hab, Tram, Starport, is that they're supposed to take time. Let's say you're doing JT and you kill a guy. It's absolutely pointless if he can respawn and be back harassing you in 30 seconds. The whole 10, 20 minutes it takes for him to get back there is by design. No, I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that they thought... I don't think ever the landing zones were created with PvP in mind. I think that is a factor of it that plays in. But I don't think that the landing zones were ever designed with PvP in mind. Ever. Think about it. I don't think the landing zones were designed with a video game in mind. They were made by artists, and that's it. Because now look at what we're doing. We have to redo Orison or Lorville and all these places so that gameplay can actually exist inside them. Right? Don't forget. They just look cool, right? Yeah, you can have a Carrack in orbit for faster JT return. Like, there's all sorts of things that you could do. I don't agree with that. But yeah. And yeah, Donnie.
Absolutely annoying.
Yes.
And you'll hear people say, well, that's not the game that you bet. This is the game you backed. This is what we pledged 10 plus years ago.
No, it's not.
I don't want to hear it, because this game 10 years ago.
That's also not true. Right? 10 years ago, you had a cutscene to a landing zone, and guess what? The trams were a cutscene too in all the other games that he made. So that's just not true, right?
I think times have changed, okay? People who pledged back then, they're older, they have kids. People who are pledging now, they definitely don't want to deal with that crap. And this is not advocating for the game to be dumbed down or stupid.
I try not to speak. I do it often, and he just did it too. I try not to speak for other people. People like the immersion in Star Citizen. It's what separates it from other games. But it is incredibly time-consuming. It is incredibly annoying. And honestly, when they're all jittery and mess up and are not smooth and not look like they are a part of a smooth operating city, the immersion's completely gone. And we haven't had that for nearly a year now, probably, right? A smooth tram experience, or ever. Therefore,
stupid or not challenging.
Immersion's
That's not
gone
it
anyway.
at all. But I'm definitely advocating for the removal of the Tedium. If I want to do a commodity run, I should be able to land at the hangar. There's a terminal in that hangar. I get out of my ship. I walk to the terminal in the hangar, buy your commodities, and leave. Boom. Go to the terminal, sell your commodities, and leave. Boom. The players are back in the world. They're not sitting around at a station or on the planet doing absolutely nothing, which is what a lot of players are doing.
I think this guy is struggling with something that I've always struggled with and still do to this day. Star Citizen's like kind of fun now, and all these things that are for later are taking away from the now fun. Like, dude, when you land on a planet, you're supposed to be there for a while. You're supposed to have things to do. You should be able to talk to NPCs and hear stories and get missions and walk around on these habs or manage your own hab or go to your apartment or like That's sort of what these are supposed to be like. The fact that we have to land now, what I will say is the fact that we land at the starport and not, and when you're doing commodity trading and not at the dock or whatever, the cargo deck version of Orison or Lorville or Area 18, like we should be going to the cargo area. And when you get out of your ship, there should be a terminal there, and you should manage your cargo that way, right? That's how it should be. And I think freight elevators are going to help with that, most likely. Because freight elevators shouldn't just work one way, they should work both ways. In terms of buying cargo or delivering cargo, both ways, right? But the tram is more to get to the city to go do things, right? That's what to go buy clothes or to get a mission, talk to a mission giver, right? Something like that. I think we don't have all the features of the game that make all this make sense. And I don't think we're going to have it for a long time.
There's so much tedium right now, and that is adding to the emptiness of the game. Because for every person who can do it quickly, there's probably 5 or 6 who do it slowly. So what might take you 30 minutes is going to take them an hour. What might take you an hour is going to take them an hour and 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying here? It's not healthy for the game. It doesn't benefit the game in any way. You could apply the same logic to equipment terminals. Why isn't every purchasable weapon in the game available at any weapons terminal? Why could I only get, say, Karna rifles at HER L3 or something?
Holy shit.
But I can.
Do you not want the game to exist? Do you not, like... I'm sorry, like, that is like a game... That's game design. You travel someplace to get a certain item because that's the only... Like, in normal open world games... Like, the biomes of an open world might have different materials and have different things, right? This is sort of Star Citizen's version of that. I don't agree with that one at all. I am still very much of, like, this game is incredibly tedious. Anytime I want to do anything, it's 2 hours to set up. That's trash. Like, those things should be simplified. I don't think the trams are really the problem there, though.
Not get them at Grimhex. Why? Why can I only get, a P4 rifle at Crew L1, but I can't get it at HER L3? Why? Who knows? It's arbitrary. So if I want that weapon, I gotta fly around to the store, and I gotta use an add-a-game tool to find it, locate it, buy it, fly it back to where I really want to use it.
Yeah. Stocking up, preparing is I think always going to be part of the game, right? I think you're just going to do it in a different way. Most likely you'll have an org, that you're in or that you join, and you'll have like a central org location or an org base, and everyone's going to be out there gearing up for whatever you happen to do, whether it's a mining operation or a salvage one or PvE or PvP. Gearing up is going to be one of the main features of the game, I think. And it is for most MMOs with like group content, is everybody's trying to level or gear or whatever to be able to do content in the game. And that's always going to be a thing. And to think that that isn't by design and isn't actually decent game design is, I think, a pretty bad take. But in the incomplete Star Citizen game, it is so hard to tell what makes sense and what doesn't, because there's so many missing pieces. Like, why do I have to do these things when there's almost nothing to gear up for, right? That's sort of the issue that he's probably dealing with.
What a waste of time. Adds nothing to the game.
What a waste of time.
Same goes for armor. All this stuff should be available from the weapons terminal. If the station has a gun shop, every purchasable piece of armor in the game and every purchasable weapon in the game should be available at that terminal. Every piece of ammo is available at every terminal, but not every weapon.
Yeah, that should stop too. The fact that they haven't taken ammo out of the shops, like, that should definitely be a thing.
Seems a little silly to me.
No, I advocate for exactly the opposite. Go out, because you can earn those things out in the world. Like when it comes to weapons, go out in the world and find them. Play the game.
That would cut down so much on time wasted. That would allow players to stage where they want to be, to do the things they want to do. It's giving players more freedom. And it's also making it way more convenient. It's also...
All right, I'll give an example, right? Let's use a similar example to him. Why is Quantanium bonuses for refining only in certain locations? They all have the same types of ways to refine. Why does one give a bonus over another? And then to use his point, well, I want to stage where I want to stage. What if the game tells you what makes sense where you should stage? Right? What if the game tells you where it makes sense to stage? So for me, it makes a lot of sense to stage at ArcCorp L2 or Microtech L5, because those are the locations that give the best bonuses for refining. So the game is kind of telling me, if you're interested in doing this specific thing, this is where you start. This is where your home is, right? This makes the most sense for you.
Lessening the blow of death in this game, which that would be a whole different topic, by the way, is death penalties and death of a spaceman. But it's making it so much more convenient to get out there and do things. And that's what CIG is lacking.
Yeah.
When people say, oh, where should I set my home planet? I think two of the most common suggestions are Orison for Cousin Crows or Area 18 for Cubby Blast.
Yeah, because the cities are so... The cities aren't the problem. You leave the city instantly. You leave the city instantly. It doesn't matter where you set your home. It matters where you set your home, where you set your spawn. Right? That's all that matters. And 30k recovery, not going to your spawn and only going to your home, is... Talk about tedium. All right, that's where.
What is the two common things that those things? What are the commonalities that those two places share? Right. Well, Cousin Crows has virtually every ship component in the game at it. You can get almost everything on Orison, and if you're running ground missions or doing any type of infantry stuff, you have Cubby Blast, which has a ton of armor and weapons available at it.
Yeah.
So now you have these two locations that you're pigeonholing players into going to. Screw that. That's silly. Make it available everywhere. Let players go where they want to go. The only thing that should be limited are commodities. If I want to go to Microtech to buy Yeti hide,
dude, I got news for you. You ready? Bring it in. I got news for you. Guns, armor, ammo are commodities.
hides, then that's where I gotta go. That's where I have to get Yeti hides from. If I want to go down to trade those over at Orison for, narwhal feces, then I can go do that. This game has a serious quality of life issue right now.
Yes.
And this lack of quote-unquote time respecting is playing into that. Because when I go and I log in, I don't want to run around and do tasks and chores, trivial stuff. I want to play.
Okay. So you do those tasks and chores once, and then you never have to do them again. I don't know what MMO starts you in a town where everything is available to you, and then you just go and exist in the world. I've never heard of a game that you start at 0, have level 100 everything available to you in front of your face, and then what do? Right? I think pacing's a little bit different, Elliot, with the idea of like levels. But this is more of like, all right, if you want to go do this, you go over here. If you're into these things, like here's the deal. What okay, it is called pacing, I guess, but I thought it was more of like levels. But there pacing in Star Citizen. Yeah, but you're talking from a mission perspective, okay? This guy's not. Right? So like let's hold up and hear me out. Okay? There will be. Nobody cares about what there will be in Star Citizen. Please don't come here and tell me what there will be. You know I love you, but I don't care. Right? About what will be, because I've been sitting here wondering what will be in Star Citizen for 50 fucking years. All right? Nobody cares about what will be anymore. Just tell me what it is. All right? Sorry. You know I love you, Elliot. But whenever CIG people say stuff like that, no, get out of here. Yeah, I'm 50. I look good for 50, right? So anyway, for the idea, pacing isn't like, at least to me, you guys know what, you're the game designers in chat, some of you, but I think he's talking about not being eased into anything. It's, I want to do, he knows what he likes about the game already, right? I know that he has an idea of what he wants to do every time he logs in, whether it's doing bounty missions. I don't know this guy at all, right? But it might be like bounties, it might be PvP, it might be whatever. And there's certain things in the game that you have to go and get, or like, you know, better ship components, FPS weapons, ammo, food, drink, those things. All those things can be done in a couple hours, right? 2 to 3 hours total to get everything you need, barring any issues, right? Any 30K, stuff like that. So make it 4 hours of a game that's supposed to exist for an incredibly long period of time. That makes no sense to think that you shouldn't. I think it should be significantly worse. We should be gated. We should be paced in order to get the gear that's really good. Right now, you have grade A military components available to you. That shouldn't be a thing, right? That should not be a thing. So what I'm talking about here is this guy is complaining about something that is maximum 4 hours of time in a patch where you have hundreds of hours to play the game. Whether you have time to do that or not is whatever, right? But the part that I struggle with is the idea of, if you want to do these things, gearing up is something that you have to do in every other video game, and thinking that this game would be any different is sort of nuts to me.
And I don't want to prepare my session now for the next session, because that's what I'm doing. I like to wear more Resolve Redshift.
Okay.
So, but I'm based at a Grimhex.
Of them.
So I have to always make sure that I have a supply of it at Grimhex. If I like to use a Karna rifle, I got to make sure I got a supply of those at Grimhex.
Yeah, it takes
what is that
no time.
Nobody's going to stop me and steal it. No, I'm not going to sell it to anybody. I'm not importing it. It's silly.
It's silly. It's silly that you like to wear a certain thing. Like, you want to hear like my take on this? I mean, I guess you do. You're watching a video, right? But the thing that the thing that drives me insane is the reason he's complaining is because nothing has value in the game. I say this shit all the time. Nothing has value. Therefore, he's only grabbing the Redshift armor because he thinks it looks cool. Not because it has any benefit at all. None. Why? This wouldn't be an issue. This wouldn't be a problem if the game had... is that pacing? You know, kind of tiers of armor or different types of armor for different things. I don't know. And to the people who said this isn't the game you backed, if you backed it 10 years ago, they're wrong. But if you backed it more recently, they're right. Simply because a lot of the things CIG wants us to do is prepare for what to do, right? What you're doing. Like for me, I have to travel around the world to get all the mining modules I need. But then when I have them once I have them at a central location, it's easy. ArcCorp L2, bang, or Microtip L5, or ArcCorp L1, Crusader L1, wherever you want to base yourself, they're all doable. You just got to bring all the modules that are not available everywhere to your location. And once you're done with that, you're good.
So many things they can do. You might argue, well, these things should represent where they're manufactured in the game universe. Cool, then let me pay a premium to have it delivered in bulk to my station. Let me pay a premium to have my armor and my weapons delivered in bulk. Let me pay for...
You could do that in game right now, brother. Ask somebody to do it for you. I know that that's ridiculous, but it's what our org did. Right? It's what we wish we interacted with somebody like you.
For convenience, then. If you want that, because game needs a money sink. There's your money sink right there. Let me pay for convenience. This game could definitely
convenience with your damn ships.
Benefit from these changes.
You already paid
Players,
for convenience.
We can complain about bugs till we're blue in the face. There's always going to be bugs. There's always going to be performance issues. But there are other things that could be done to make this game way better. How about claim times? All right, claim timers. Let's talk about that real quick. CIG bumps up claim timers to
claim timers
astronomical levels. They think, oh, well, we want these things to have impact. I disagree. I absolutely disagree. I used to be in favor of longer claim timers until I got longer claim timers. And then longer claim timers were being coupled with riding trains, leaving atmosphere to go places, X, Y, and Z. Like all this long, drawn-out crap, and they had the claim timers on top of it. I was miserable. I hated it. And it's still there. The claim timer is... I would rather, if you want the claim timer to be a punishment or a reason not to pull ships quickly, don't limit me by my time. Limit me by my wealth.
Yes.
This is probably a controversial take.
It is not at all.
But it shouldn't take me 40 minutes to call a Carrack or something like that. If I lose my Carrack, and I want it, let me call it out immediately. But give me a flat fee that I have to pay.
I mean, you know, we've talked about this a lot. I don't think you should get your Carrack back right away. You know, the one thing, you know, when they say you didn't back the game you're talking about is not the game you backed for, I do think that CIG very much wanted to go on a bit of realism. Your money doesn't make a Carrack just poof out of thin air, right? In real life, kind of. So I think that's the idea behind the claim timer, but I do think you should get like a rental or something very close to what you had, but not yours, that you have to give back when yours is ready.
Make me not want to throw it away because of the financial loss. Not because of the time. Time is the most important resource in life. Real life, okay? It's finite. We only have so much of it.
Why not own a ship
Don't
blueprint?
Make me waste...
Okay, if you have to make the ship, doesn't that take time? If it takes time to load cargo into your ship, how long would it take to actually build it?
Unnecessarily in the game. So if I lose that Carrack or I lose that A2, let me have it. Let me call it back instantly.
Of course, he has a Carrack and an A2.
I'll pay. Make me pay 40 or 50K or more. Heck, make me pay 100K to call that Carrack back. There's your in-game money sink. There's something. It's way better than having a time and a money sink. I will take a money sink over a time sink any day of the week. But, you know, that's my rant. So to summarize this, I really hope and I think and I feel that CIG needs to get onto quality of life changes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but I don't think the quality of life changes are necessarily removing trams.
I know it's an alpha. I get it, okay? But if they're willing to make sweeping changes to weapon handling characteristics and ballistics and other things like that, I'm pretty sure they could make some minor changes to the game that makes it a lot more easy and enjoyable for players to get into and stay in. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it is very thought-provoking. I don't have to agree with everybody. You know, I don't have to be nice in these scenarios, I don't think. And I apologize if I'm really disagreeing, but I do feel strongly. I feel as strongly on the opposing side of some of the things that he's saying as he does on his side. And it's as simple as that is we'll probably agree to disagree. But for me, it's very... It is a dilemma where CIG is making something that is special. But what makes it special is what makes the game tedious and boring for a lot of people. I hate the trams too, but I don't spend any time on them because I leave. If I do cargo hauling, for whatever reason, they don't feel as painful. But when I'm in combat or something like that, and I got to take an elevator and I got to go here and I want to get back and I want to get back in the fight, I want to get my body or whatever I was doing. It is. The fact that your ship 30k recovers to your starting zone sucks because that's where the tedium hits for me. The gearing thing, hard disagree. I love the fact you have to go around and gear and prepare, right? I think that that's very important. I think it creates scenarios where players will engage with each other and help you prepare for you. I think it is the first kind of design of org play a little bit is seeing players in an org gather weapons, gather ammo, gather food, gather drinks, gather medical, and bring it all to the one location where everybody's going to be playing. I think that that's a good thing. Clearly, this gentleman seems to be playing alone. He has a Carrick and an A2. That is usually the sign of a solo player, in my opinion, in Star Citizen. I haven't come across too many people in a fully crewed Carrick or a fully crewed A2. They're usually single players, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you know, if I want to rant a little bit, I think that you shouldn't be able to do those things in those. You know, I don't think you should be able to do anything without a crew in those ships. So. There's your tedium. Now you have to group up just to fly the ship you want. I wonder what he's going to think about that, because I think that's something that belongs there. I think a big problem here is nobody knows what Star Citizen is, and they're all trying to make it what they want it to be, myself included. What are we going to do, man? We don't know what it is. But anyway, that's a creator we have, I don't think, ever watched on the channel. His name is Buzzcut Psycho, so let me go ahead and link you guys the video. Check him out. He seems about as salty as I am, so you guys might like him. And I also will leave his link in the description if you guys are watching this on the React channel.